Oh, I have no animation. That's cool. Anyway, we're here. We're gonna play some trains. What's going on, everybody? Thanks for stopping by. Let me know if this sounds even vaguely okay. We've got the New York Central mug again. This time it's tea. Immune support tea, specifically, because Mattis has been sick for like a week and a half. And I don't want to get sick as a result. So. That's hot. That's hot. I swear that tea, for whatever reason, holds heat more than coffee. Could just be me. But yeah, let's just dive right into it. We're going to get started, picking up where we left off last night, which will be somewhere. There we go. Yeah, this is looking generally right. Let's pull up everything we have. Oh, wow. I forgot how nice it is to have this big of a screen when I'm doing this. All right, we got that. Good there. So we're going to bring these back to when does he play in this wait for recovery? Yeah, he's gonna need it. Alright, so I believe these we're bringing back to the interchange. This guy is waiting to let more passengers on, which we will do. Whittier, let them fill up. Let's get this guy on the move in reverse. Make sure all these are thrown the correct direction. That one is, and that one is. Let's just check the station real quick to make sure that there's no other freight waybills that we're missing out on. This guy, that guy. Good. This guy and that guy. Okay, cool. So those two are going to have to go to the interchange over here. And so will these three. Plus we have the caboose, so I think I know how we're going to do that. I think I know. Fairly confident. We're going to see. Alright. Let's get this guy moving. Control click. Select. Reverse. Brakes off. Throttle open. Go. They're all filled up. Let's get this one moving. Nice. Cheese Delilah. Fertile Aiden's doing today. I don't know if I can consider us fertile. That's a really hot take right there. Drop the bell on that. What's your least favorite train? Diesel. No, in this game, it's the Atlantic. I've never used it, but yeah, not a huge fan of the Atlantic. Has two of these front wheels and then only two driving wheels, and I just really don't like that arrangement for some reason. I don't know why. I like more driving wheels as opposed to less. Weird like that. Not totally sure. Hang on. Another dryer caught fire? What the hell? Why? Why does your dorm have so many dryers catch fire? That's very sketch. It's very sketch indeed. Brakes applied while we're going through there. Okay, hang on. So we need... Is this the right way to do this? Yes, it is. All right, we're going to keep backing up a little further. And then we're going to do a logging run. All right, while that goes, Bullhorn Betty really covered S. Rogers. Case got arrested. That's wild. What happened to your truck? Oh, yeah, the engine is no more in the truck, for those asking. Not entirely sure yet, but the oil looked like glitter. And for anybody who knows mechanical stuff, that's when you know you're done for. So truck's gonna need a new engine. Yeah. Part of the reason I'm streaming this game instead of just playing it is to get those watch hours up. So yeah. I mean, I really, if like, I can handle it if need be, but it's just one of those deals where it's like I really don't want to have to deal with that. You know what I mean? So anything to make it hurt a little less. But yeah, we're gonna find out what specifically happened to it. It's weird because it's, you know, the truck's rated for weight. It might have been a little over because of how many fluids were in the boat that I was carrying. But even still, it shouldn't have been that bad because people pull way more with these trucks. So not entirely sure. We're gonna find out exactly what happened, and the shop I took it to, if it was somebody else's fault, like they messed up and it resulted in a catastrophic failure of my engine, then they said they will help me deal with it as it should be dealt with, in the sense of like, if someone screwed me over and it destroyed my engine, they will help me get the money from that and like help me out, which is great. But you know, there's only so much you can do for the time being about it. So yeah, we'll find out. 2 and 2 days on, we get so lucky. The exploded truck. That's how you got so lucky. People like to lint out. Yeah, okay. So the whole not taking lint out of your dryers, I didn't realize how prolific of an issue that was until I moved in with 2 of my best friends right out of college, and they were in the house for maybe a month before I was, and I move in and I do my first load of laundry, and the dryer, like, not sheet, but lint catcher, when I pulled that thing out of there, it was caked. It was like jammed. It was barely able to be pulled out. And I just started like mocking them both. I'm like, what are you two doing? Do you just not clean these? And they're like, no, that's like horseshit. You don't need to actually do that. And I was like, no, this is like an actual thing. Like, shit can catch fire. They didn't believe me. They started doing it afterwards. At least one of them did. But yeah, that was funny. I didn't realize people actually didn't do that until that point. Yep, those to the interchange. So forward. Open that up so we don't blow off a cylinder head, because that's important. There we go. I was wondering why it was so high up there. Throttle down. Link that up, keep the brake on, go to this guy, make sure he don't move. 64 passengers. Yeah, we're gonna need a new car. We're gonna need a second car. You know what? I think it might be time. I think it might be time to just order it. We have the money. We can do it. And let's set a secondary railroad. How do we do? There's a way to do interchange. Okay, so we're gonna do an extra service. And then with that extra service, hopefully they will bring this new Pullman. Oh wow. Wait, hang on. What was what was that? What did it say? Coach delivered. Oh, it's already there? Actually? No way. Okay, I thought they would have done that every time it was serviced. Alrighty then. Cool. Okay. All right. Sweet. Good to know. Good to know. Good to know. Good to know. All right. Well, we'll do one more round of service with this as is, and then we'll run it back to hook up the new one. And then for this, I need to remove this guy. Handbrake on? Yay, nay? We're gonna trust it without the handbrake? We'll give it a shot. We'll give it a try. We'll see what's what. Follow. Throw it in reverse. It's gonna move on. Have I heard of the NIFB, or New Independent Fundamental Baptists? I haven't. I also just realized that I'm about to miss this turnoff. Yep. Alright, I'm gonna switch that up. It's difficult to read chat and drive trains at the same time. Don't at me. Too much. You didn't know dishwasher to filter at all. I'm sorry for what you're about to find in that. Ooh, I did not know the dishwashers had filters. I am sorry for myself for what I am soon to find in it, because that's horrific, and I can only imagine. Not looking forward to that. Not looking forward to the day I actually open that up and decide to make a change there. Also, I have heard of the MIB. It's a good... MIB's a good time. MIB's a great time. Are you even seeing chats from Trash Panda, or is the algorithm hiding him again? I'm not seeing Trash Panda. Unfortunately. If he's sending anything in the last like 10 minutes, I have not seen them. For some reason. I do not know why. Because I didn't ban him or anything, as far as I'm aware. Too busy. Doesn't chat nearly enough. Yeah, it's hard. I gotta like, there's a lot of stuff going on. I got a lot of things I gotta change. I'm sorry, I'm doing my best here. I keep throwing the wrong switches. It's bad, it's terrible. Loaded up good. Let's go, go, go. Sorry I'm late. Make sure you're live chat, not top chat. Fair enough. Thank you, Kellen, for keeping things in order, because I certainly seem to not be able to. Guys, I would recommend making a drinking game for every time I somehow throw the wrong switch, but I think everybody would die before the end of a stream. I switched this thing like 3 times. How did I don't want to know. I really don't want to know. I tricked it. No. It's a bad plan. It's a bad scene. Y'all saw me switch that like twice though, right? Am I just that dumb? Don't answer that. Because the answer is yes. Alright, now really quickly. Alright, no, not really quickly actually. Good. Reverse that. Get rolling again. Okay. East Whittier interchange. Cool. Does that include... Okay. I'm just trying to figure out where I'm going to put the caboose versus everything else. I think I know what I'm gonna do. I think... Yeah. I got it. I got it in my brain. Alright, we have a plan. And I will describe it as soon as I'm not about to break something. It's essentially just that I'm gonna drop all of this stuff off, put that on the front, grab some of the logging cars, bring them to where they need to go, and then drop them at like the intersection for the moment, and then I need to go a little... Oh, I don't need to go a little further. Nice. Good stuff. Alright, good. Boom, boom. Alright, yeah, let that speed up. So we're going to connect up back here, get all of these all hooked up together. We're going to bring them back to this track. And then we're going to put the caboose here, and then run back, come up behind this guy, get behind it, bring it forward up to here, and then grab the first set of these, which will go to Connolly Creek L1, since all of those are still kind of waiting to be used. And then we're going to drop them at that junction over there. Can't really see it right now. To where they're going to need to go, and then move that one forward up to the next station, so that way we can then reconnect the other train with that, so that way it has both cars on it now, so we're not losing out on fares. We're putting stuff together. Drinking game whenever I say incredible, that would also kill you. That would also definitively kill you. Nice. Nice. Alright. Now reverse that. Get moving again. Throw that switch. Throw that switch. Keep that switch. Throw that switch. Cool. How's this guy doing? Where we at? Coming up on that next station. Huffing and puffing with this guy. Oh, the brother with all the. Oh, brother, where art thou? Yeah, it's a great movie. Watched that movie for the first time with Wendigoon, which is wild. Good stuff. Wild stories. Yeah, I had never seen that movie before, despite really liking both the Coen brothers and Roger Deakins. I've actually got Roger Deakins' photography book sitting next to me right now. But for whatever reason, just hadn't yet watched that film yet, which is shocking, I know. Nice, 327 down. Oh, wait, nope, sorry, I lied. Good. Connect there, disconnect there. And now we can reverse, because we gotta put this guy onto this track here. And make sure that this switch is thrown in the right direction. Which I'm gonna bet it isn't. Look at that, I was right. Because I have a tendency to just do that incorrectly, frequently, as you're finding out. Good stuff. Song I'm in from Frankenstein musical is... I feel like everybody gets those shorts now, unfortunately. Granted, I don't really watch YouTube shorts. Might be a good alternative to TikTok, though, considering how much I watch that. Although I did sit down right before this to do, like, a TikTok doom scroll, and the first thing I saw was it essentially telling me, get off your ass and do what you need to do, and I was like, alright, fair enough. And that was the one TikTok I watched before coming and doing this, so say thank you to my algorithm for forcing me to actually do my shit and get here on time. $60 for 60 fares. Nice. Slow this guy down a little bit. There we go. Oop. Manual. This one. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. What here? Good. Good. So I'm going to come up behind this guy to provide it for the train for the next trip. Alright, while we build up some speed there, you didn't answer my question. What was the question? Did you know that there is a musical of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? No, I didn't. I did not. And I'm also going to assume that that was the question you meant that you were asking. If it wasn't, let me know. I am sorry. Oh, there we go. That's good. I don't have TikTok because I doom scroll so easily and it's bad. Trust me, you're not the only one. They're designed for doom scrolling. So, it's unfortunate, but it's true. handbrake off. And once again, forward. Throw that switch, throw that switch. No switch throwing. This one needs to go. And this one needs to get on the move because we got 41 passengers ready to get their butts down to Whittier. There's the sandwich kitty cat and such wholesome YouTube comment for what she's selling. I haven't looked. Who's making that? Oh, got it, okay. Sorry to catch up on that real quick. Calf catcher? Well, this is a cow catcher. It's not even a joke, that's what it's called. Learned that from Thomas the Tank Engine when I was like 6. Not even, probably like 3. Gotta love Thomas, man. Comes in clutch. Comes in clutch, all time. Alright, I'm really gonna start using the independent here. Good stuff. I think... Got it. Alright, cool. So I know someone that commented your cow catcher was small. You know, not the worst thing to have be small, honestly. Sometimes, you know, smaller's more efficient for a cow catcher. So I've heard. All right, forward again. Let's go. Second. Has that been open this whole time? Don't need to do that. That was a fetch with Ruffman person. I do not know the context of that pumpkin. Isn't it also called a pilot? I feel like I've heard that before. I'm not sure. Probably is, honestly. How's this other train doing? Rocking and rolling. That's how it's doing. Nice. Alright, so we're gonna have to swap this switch right here. Can we be cheeky about this again? No, we're not gonna do that. We'll do it properly. We'll do it as we should do it. Raven Ray just subscribed. Thank you for subscribing. Appreciate that. I'm curious. Oh, and it's going to be perfect timing too. How about that? Look at this. We're going to be delivering the new car for that train right as it's coming into the station. Absolutely love that. It worked out perfectly. And we got 51 passengers. Not bad. Nice. Good stuff. Disconnect, disconnect. And we will run this guy back. And now, the Valley Forge Railroad, I guess local train currently, can now hold twice the number of passengers, which is pretty baller. So we got that going for us. These locomotives are, in fact, based on historical models, 100%. Do I have to do this with all of the cars? I don't know. I don't know. Anyway. What flavor of locomotive is your preferred, steam, diesel, or electric? The game I'm playing right now should give a general indication, but 100% steam, without question. It is by far the best train that exists, without question, without debate, in my personal opinion. The best. It's just cool. Like, I love the fact that you can see everything that's happening. It's just, you know, you feed it, you give it water. It's like it truly is like a, you know, metallic animal with literal bells and whistles. So, that's just my instinct with it. It's me and my special interest. Cool. And now we send this train up the hill. Check on this one. See. Oh, they split evenly between the two. I guess that makes sense. 23, 33. So we're already above how many we'd normally be able to take, which is kind of wild. So we'll let this sit here for a minute to collect up more passengers. Keep riding up here. Questions whether or not this game is in your Steam account. It is in my Steam account, 100%. And yeah, to address some of the stuff you guys are talking about down there in terms of why we stopped making Steam and things like that. Honestly, the majority of it wasn't even necessarily fuel efficiency, even though that was a part of it. It was more for time efficiency. Getting these things up and running takes a long time. If you're consistently running them every day, even at the beginning of each day, it takes 4 to 6, maybe 8 hours, depending on the state. And then if you're not running it every day, you know, it can take over a day, if not 2, to get these things cold started. Because, you know, you're dealing with expansion and contraction of a lot of metal parts. You don't want things to crack, especially when you're dealing with pressurized cylinders and all that fun stuff. All right, we'll send this guy rolling now. Orders forward. Just want to make sure it actually goes. There we go, okay. Anyway. But yeah, so they take forever to get started and get moving. Which, you know, nowadays in terms of using them for excursions and stuff, not really the biggest deal, but when the rest of the world was starting to speed up, not great in terms of, you know, competitiveness in business. Yeah, electric. yeah, literally building up steam 100%. And yeah, electric is very quick. And even diesel electrics, you know, they have a diesel motor that they still need to work with. You know, you can certainly have those ready to go under an hour. Yeah, diesels do not become part of the landscape when things go wrong. That is very true. Unless, you know, we're talking about the things that they're carrying on the train. And they do keep the fires running in some of them. They still do with some of them. So for I know New Hope, the New Hope and Ivanland Railroad, when they're doing consistent steam service, they will keep the fires running all the time. Generally, how you would do that, especially back in the day, was something called banking the fire, and that essentially means you would just build a mountain of coal in the firebox, and it would just kind of simmer overnight and keep things hot. And then the next day, when you're going to start service, you took that mountain and you spread it evenly across the entire firebox, and then see, this is why I try not to talk too much, because I'm gonna miss things like the turnoff I needed to make there. But yeah, if you and then you just spread it evenly across the firebox to get the heat and then the burning occurring in the most efficient manner, and yeah, then you'd be ready to roll within a couple hours. But you know, that's if you're using it every single day, and every day you're able to put more coal on that bank. So, you know. Biodiesel could be cool. I want to bring back bioethanol steam engines, because then it's just carbon neutral. if you're growing everything you're burning, it's carbon neutral. Can't do that with internal combustion because internal combustion doesn't like ethanol because of its high water content. But if you're just burning it in a non-pressurized scenario, because the firebox isn't pressurized, it's just burning it and then goes right out the stack. I don't know. Could be just a fun, simple, easy way to get steam engines back online. Maybe we'll see. How often did the firebox have to be cleared out? They would do it daily, but honestly, clearing out the firebox wasn't that bad because most coal would burn pretty clean in the sense that it was almost entirely carbon, so it wouldn't leave a whole lot. But what it did, they could either rake it out from the side, because there were a lot of slots in the firebox in order to do that, or more modern steam locomotives would have, they could use, there was a steam hookup that they could use to both clean the engine, because it would be like a steam, like there'd be a lower one where the hot water would come out and then be a higher one where it would just be the steam that came out, and you could just blow all of the ash right out of the firebox. And generally they would need to do that on a daily basis, sometimes multiple times a day, but depending on how clean the coal was burning, sometimes you wouldn't need to do it for a couple days. But yeah, definitely something you would need to do. There is an ash pit built into most railroads where the locomotive would ride over it, and it would just be the rails on like a little trestle, and underneath it would be an ash pit that you could kind of get a loader or something to pull them out or pull out the ash of. But excuse me. But yeah, definitely something that needed to be done. Alright, and this, I'm going to order road reverse back down, because honestly I just don't feel like doing it manually right now. So the issue is that it's not just CO2. There are a variety of different things that affect climate and the environment and things like that. And the issue is, with increasing temperatures, there are areas of the Earth that then would not be able to produce plant life, and it's kind of a balance thing. Also, the ocean becomes more acidic, produces the ability, or creates a environment in which algae and ocean plant life are not able to proliferate as much, therefore not providing a lot of oxygen to the environment that it normally would. Yeah, there's a whole slew of details that make it not great. Yeah, it's a really complicated issue. It's really annoying how complicated it is, but, it's just life. Nice. So what else do we have? What's Pier 30? No, we've observed it. No, we've definitely observed it. The reason I know a lot about this stuff is because my girlfriend is she was in safety for a long time, but then she was promoted to a climate position, so she already knew a decent amount of this stuff, but then she had to dive and do some deep research. She works for a chemical company, and the entire point that they created her division and her job was because they needed to promote, their green, essentially, elements of their company, and then they also have goals that they need to meet for reaching carbon neutrality. And so she had to do a bunch of research and learn a lot of things about it, and by proxy she's taught me a lot of things about it. And I've also done my own research over time. But yeah, like prime example is there's a lot of examples I could give. What was the one that just happened? I mean, there is the fact that apparently the last 12 months have been the hottest months on record, which is great, like ever. Real fun to see that. Yeah, it's not. Things aren't looking good, man. I don't know. We'll figure it out. As people, will figure it out. Verse 25. Let's go. Right. So what is the... New Depot. Oh, they go to L2. That's why. I thought I did that right. I thought I did that right. Never gets old doing things wrong. I would be worried about corrosion in the firebox because that's something that was considered. Yeah, 100%. They have... So steam locomotives frequently have what's called an overhaul period, and each locomotive has a different overhaul period that they need to be in, essentially totally redone. Not necessarily from like the ground up, but pretty closely. And yeah, one of the things that is addressed when they do that is addressing corrosion and making the adjustments and fixes that they need to for keeping things safe in that regard. Alright, we're gonna push this baby a little quicker because I'm annoyed that I did that wrong. Those cars aren't swaying around too much, are they? How accurate is the original Thomas Tank Engine? Honestly, in terms of like mechanical design, pretty accurate. There are like types of locomotives that didn't have the running gear visible on the outside. I can't remember how that design worked because those were primarily European locomotives, which is, generally that's where Britt Alcroft was from. But yeah, to my knowledge, the mechanical design was pretty accurate for the most part. Yeah, that was Henry. Henry got sealed into the tunnel because Henry did not want to deal. Which, yeah, that was pretty funny. So how did we end up? L2. So I guess the other ones are L1, so I just did it wrong. Naturally. Alright. Let's try this again, shall we? No whistle while on curves. Honestly, I'm not totally sure of the regulation there. That's part of the reason I'm not doing it. Sometimes I've done it just for fun. But yeah, I mean, I can certainly... make sure I do it. Straight train murder. No, Henry got out of there, don't worry. Henry didn't stay forever in there. Deep dive on horn whistle regulations. What is the whistle regulation for curves specifically? I know what the regulation is for like road crossings, but curves I don't know the specifics. Our rescue sphinx has decided it is called a time not ready time. Well, that's an honor, generally, as far as I'm aware. Let's check in. Are we... Is much demand to be given. Yeah, that makes sense. There was a junkyard episode, I believe, because everybody was like afraid that they were gonna have to go there. Yeah, Thomas had some brutal lessons. Conley Creek L2, let's make sure we're in the right place. L2, nice, good stuff. Alright, tab, your orders are reverse 15. I don't know. What do you think? Should we let? Oh, wait. You must sound on every curve tighter where you can't see within stopping distance at tunnel entrances, exits, crossings, departures, before bridges, and I'm definitely forgetting some. Yeah, I mean, I know departures is 2 toots. So, like, any moving forward period is 2 toots. Reverse is 3. Stopping, like, to be stationary is 1. Crossings, 2 long, a short, and a long. That's all I know. If I don't know what the specific regs are for tunnels and curves in terms of, like, is there a specific number and type of number? There's only one way to find out. The waybills. There's that. Is there anything at Ella? Yeah, no active waybills there. Hmm. Who's getting timed out? Oh, we're building trains. We're not even building trains. We're just putting stuff together and making it work, making it run. Alright, guess we'll send this guy off. Gotcha, pumpkin. Yeah, that's fair enough. Things are slow on the VFRR right now. Since the chaos has died down a little bit, how's everybody doing? What's everybody got going on this Sunday afternoon? I am... Oh, History Daddy, how long have you been here? Welcome. Welcome, Ryan. Oh, I didn't realize it was you that said building the trains in the Wild Wild West. My bad. First time I've seen a steam train in reverse. I feel weird about it. Yeah, I mean sometimes you gotta run around. Sometimes you gotta make the trains go in the proper direction. I think we're gonna have to start running this around to the back of that, like running the locomotive to the back of the train when we do this, which is mildly annoying. I mean, we might not have to, but considering the reputation is at 90% for operational safety, I'm assuming that's the reason for it, so. Alright. I'm gonna quick get more tea. Cakes, I'm glad to hear that this is calming and this is helping out. That is what I can certainly hope for from this kind of a stream. Because it's certainly not going to be particularly exciting and action-packed, that's for sure. But I'm glad the calmness of it is enjoyable. While we're here, I'm gonna get some water. Coal, I think we're alright with for now. Nice. It's not as chaotic as Mattis' streams, yeah. Yeah, I mean, his are gonna be more fun, gonna be more enjoyable. For like, you know, consistent energy and excitement and laughs and entertainment. Sometimes I like that. Sometimes I like just kind of chilling, driving some trains. And I'm glad I'm not the only one. It's fun. Thank you all for being here. I said I wasn't going to get coal. I'm going to get coal. I like seeing the trains go. Sweet. I'm glad those that are here enjoy the chill. That's all I can hope for. Zero, zero. as all of this goes on, we're going to wait 1 hour. There we go. New stuff at the interchange. Let's just go into the sawmill. All right. Pretty easy Monet. So put it here, grab this guy, bring it over to the interchange. Is there anywhere else that needs service? Alright, so you're empty, but none of these other ones are yet. But I would imagine by the end of the day they will be. So we'll give it some time. Alright, and we'll run this back now. Oh, wait, actually, nope, sorry. Yeah, for now. Until the other station on the other side of the bridge is ready to go. Then we'll just run it like this. And if people don't like it for not being safe, they're just gonna have to deal with it. All right. Is this game like Trainism, or is it more building the stations and stuff? No, it's just running trains. It's just railroad logistics and operations and stuff like that. Wait, Ryan, what government got rid of your train tracks? Aren't trains still like a huge part of the infrastructure in the UK? That's what I thought it was anyway. It was when I was there back in 2017. Which is concerning how long ago that was now. When did UK trains get privatized? We used to have loads of trains, but before I was born, a lot of them got removed as they weren't essential routes, so we still have a lot of tracks, but they're mostly mainline. You need a bus to finish the journey. That's extremely annoying. Man, what a shame. Yeah, the railroads would do a lot for the economy, and also it would be great to bring them back, even from a non-biased perspective of, I mean, obviously I like trains, but like the infrastructure used to be so much better. Like I think most. I was just talking with Kat about this the other day. So one of the biggest issues about rail in the U.S. now is all of the railroad companies used to be primarily passenger service. And so a freight train would have to sit on the siding to allow a passenger service train to go by to keep them on schedule. Now it's the reverse. Now, because it's government owned and the railroads are private freight railroads, they, as the freight railroads, get priority. So if there's a passenger train on a freight line and there's a freight train going by, then the passenger train has to sit in a siding and wait for that to go by. Also, the infrastructure has not been well kept. Trains for passenger service used to travel well over 100 miles an hour. Back in the 20s, 30s, and 40s, shockingly enough, with steam engines, they would go over 100 miles an hour on the main line. And now I think they're limited to like 50 or 60 miles an hour because the infrastructure is just that poor in the US as of right now. So, yeah, if we did a total overhaul of our rail system, it would benefit us a lot. Yeah, it is a great alternative to flying, and I think part of the reason that, you know, it just hasn't been invested in is because A, the airlines are already so heavily subsidized, so, well, and so is Amtrak, but also because flying is so time efficient generally, people are just willing to bite the bullet. But in reality, considering how much you have to essentially plan for the airport in the sense of, I feel like for most people, you gotta leave an hour, like it takes an hour to get there, and then, hang on. It takes an hour to get there, and once you're there, it will frequently take an hour to get through security minimum, sometimes worse. So you're spending 2 to 4 hours just to get to the flight, depending. And then whatever the flight time is, probably going to be, if you're spending that much time, it's probably going to be at least 2 hours, but sometimes it's closer to 5 or 6. Not always. Maybe like 2 to 4, we'll say. And is that open? I think it is. And then you got to leave the airport and all that stuff. So for those like mid-range travel, you know, they're comparable times. Now, granted, if it's for like cross-continent travel, flights are always going to be faster, no matter what. Oh, wait, no, that one can stay on? I'm an idiot. Because we're just disconnecting from there. On your way to becoming a civil engineer and you promise to take train projects, I appreciate that. That would be fantastic. Ooh. I thought we had enough throttle to keep us moving. I was wrong. I guess there's a little bit of a grade there that I wasn't aware of. Yeah, it's the downside of American trains nowadays. They're just not. There's not a lot of convenient ways to use them, and it's just generally not worth it when you do, usually. Nice. Wasn't sure I'd be able to throw that one from there. What got me into video making and editing? Good question. Also, you're telling me if I had a mass passenger train like the TSA, it wouldn't? Yeah, no, you wouldn't, as far as I'm aware, because there's no like TSA level stuff for trains as of right now, at least. But yeah, for video making and editing for me, specifically, it involves Jaws, to put it simply. When I was 5, my uncle showed me the movie Jaws, and I fell in love. It was like the coolest thing I'd ever seen. It was the first real movie I ever watched, and I became obsessed with it. And then one day, when I came home from school in elementary school, my mom surprised me with a VHS recording, and like true VHS, like it was on television. My mom had recorded this episode of E! News where they had done a documentary on how Jaws was made, and I pretty much wore that tape out. I became even more fascinated with the story of how the movie was made than the movie itself. And it just seemed crazy and wild and cool to me, and I wanted to do that. I wanted to replicate that. And so from that point on, I started shooting short films. Even in elementary and middle school, it was either having my friends or like my cousin shoot a movie with me where, you know, I was pretending to be Santa and I was like directing her, she had the camera, or, you know, stuff with friends, or I was making little like primitive, like not good Lego stop motion films, and those were usually on my mom's flip phone. Yeah, not like high production quality or anything like that. And dropped out of it a little bit in middle school, like later middle school and then early high school. I had a class with like one of my water polo coaches and like 2 other kids, and it was video production, digital video production. And I had never done that before. I'd never used a nonlinear editor. I had, prior to then, just done like stop start recording as editing. I would have an idea of the structure of it in my head, and then I would just record, stop, record, stop, record, stop, record, stop, so that way it would play as a film. But then I'd have to, like, you know, you have one shot to do it every time. And then I learned how to use Premiere and nonlinear editing, and had several projects for that. And then I made a bunch of short films that are on this channel. If you want to check them out, don't have to, don't really recommend. But yeah, back in high school, and then I did some stuff that was in college on here. But yeah, that's where I got to where I am. I went to NYU for film school, then COVID hit. I was working on a farm for a bit, was finally able to find a job in the field, but before I actually officially got that job, Madison and I started Lore Lodge. And we used it as kind of like a secondary thing, and then it became my job. And yeah, I still have hopes to actually make like films down the line. If I'm being realistic with myself right now, like it's just, I want to get practice reps in and stuff right now, but just with the amount of time we spend doing what we do, there's not a whole lot of downtime. You know, this is one of those rare instances and whatnot. And once we're able to finally kind of like cut back on that a little bit, then I want to start getting a little bit more into the narrative side again. But, you know, until then, time will tell. We'll just keep doing how we do. Let's see, is this, yeah, we'll call that filled enough. Orders, road, forward, 25. Nice. And then for those wondering about trains for me, that all started partially, it was kind of a triple threat. So obviously Thomas the Tank Engine. Hey, is this going in the correct direction? Yes. Thomas the Tank Engine was a big thing. The other thing was our neighbor. His name was John. He had a massive model railroad in his crawl space. And I'd go over there and just like, he would show me all the trains and like kind of, he had a bunch of books on him too. And he would just kind of show me and like tell me like, oh, this is that one, or whatever. And he'd let me run the trains occasionally, as much as you'd let like a 2 or 3 year old do it. But yeah, really sweet guy, really nice guy. And and then the primary one, the thing that started it all, really, even before Thomas, was the house I grew up in for the first 2 years of my life. Was right up the road from Abrams Yard on the Norfolk and Southern line, and it's right in King of Prussia. And now they've got concrete pylons, like separators, not pylons, but the things that you put in the concrete dividers for highways. But before it used to be just like a gravel siding, and part of the reason they put it up there is because like people were riding like dirt bikes and ATVs all over the tracks, which is not great. But part of what it takes away is when my mom didn't know, like she needed rest when I was an infant and a little bit older. I was go 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 go. I was nonstop, always moving, and the one thing that made me sit patiently and just like calm me down was she would take me to the railroad tracks and I could watch the trains and I was just in awe. And I think that's why, A, I love trains, and B, I just love big machinery that moves. Um, but yeah, and even if none of them were operating at the time, we could sit there for hours on end and I would just sit and watch and wait. And then if or when they finally came by, I would just watch them silently in awe. Um, yeah, and funnily enough, I still do. It's part of the reason I love trains, because like in that way, they're peaceful to me. I still live right near the Norfolk Southern line, and occasionally, when I have a little bit a downtime, I'll go sit out there and wait for a train to come by. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But I don't know, it's kind of therapeutic for me. So that's kind of part of the reason I like playing this game too. Just therapeutic, I guess. And when I have a lot of stuff breaking in my life in terms of mechanically, and I've got a lot of other stuff that's going on, it's nice to be able to kind of step away from it and do something that is relaxing for me and enjoyable. And obviously, full disclosure, the fact that you guys are here watching gives me some watch hours. Hopefully can get my channel to be monetized so I can potentially make some videos on this channel, kind of help pay for some of the things that are breaking. That'd be great. But yeah, I mean, I'm just hanging, and I appreciate that you guys want to just hang. I could try and talk more, not gonna lie, throat hurts a little bit right now. It's part of the reason for the tea. As much as I love talking, sometimes I could be accused of loving to hear the sound of my own voice. Ironically enough, after long enough, it starts to hurt, which is where I'm at right now. So, yeah, so I'm glad that you guys are cool with me just being quiet every now and again and just kind of enjoying the trains for what they are. I appreciate it. I get that it is not. I'm not going to say not common, but it's not typical of stuff like this. My dad has always been into model railroading. He was never able to get a layout put together, though, because my mom is too much of a hoarder and wouldn't give him enough space to do it. That's annoying. Yeah, I have some model trains that I'd love to put together at some point. It's just a matter of finding the space, because they do take up a lot of space. Right now I'm just waiting for this log to disappear. See if waiting 1 hour does anything. Oh, well, if anything, it probably increased the amount of people that are trying to get on the trains here. So final phase for that, cool. Does that mean that, oh yeah, all these guys are ready to go, which is what we were waiting on. Partially, also waiting on this guy. Because all of these are going to go to Connolly Creek L1. And hopefully load up quickly. Curious. Is Connolly Creek L2? Yeah, they're loaded up and ready to go. All three of them, yep. And L1's probably loaded up as well. Yep. So the hope is that these 3 cars will load up before the end of the day. That way I can bring them all down in one go. Ideally. It's my favorite train series. Others feel free to chip in. I don't know. I don't know what I would consider a train series other than Thomas the Tank Engine. But I'd be willing to hear what people think. Yeah, I can't think of another one. I love just watching locomotive videos on YouTube, to be honest with you. For whatever that's worth. Come on, you're almost done. You're almost ready to go. As soon as this... Yep, let's go. Fire me up. Best training Thomas the Tank Engine? I'm a big fan of Edward. I'm not gonna lie. Edward was kind of my go-to guy. Big role model vibes. Because Thomas, you know, Thomas is a 2-year-old in that sense, but I always liked Edward because I was like, yeah, I want to be like the wise, mature one. I want to be the Obi-Wan of the story, and Edward always felt like that to me. He didn't get a lot of focus, but I think that was part of why. But yeah, big fan of Edward. I think he's the best. Thomas is great, but Edward's the best. Alright. Orders, road, forward. We'll give it 20. Orders, road, reverse, 20. I have strategically, I'd say Edward. He shows up the most, even more than Thomas. Edward shows up more than Thomas? Really? In what way? Where and when? If you ever visit England, I would 100% recommend visiting museums in Manchester. Which museums? I was there at one point, but I wasn't at those museums, so apparently I missed out. I identify with the Fat Controller. You mean Sir Topham Hatt, my good friend. Sir Topham Hatt. Both names, both versions of his name are just brutal. Let's be clear. Let's be fair. Sir Topham Hatt? Are you kidding me? Horrific. And then the Fat Controller is just like blatant. It's just like blatant disrespect. Horrible. Horrible all around. I'm getting hungry, but I don't know what I want to do for dinner. Maybe let's cook up that chicken, which has been defrosting again. Oh. Ooh, just found a hotkey. Cool. They're swaying a lot less at 20, which is annoying. I guess when you're doing a pushback from behind, that's kind of what you need to do. Which is fine. Source the unlucky tug. Horrific. Back control. Ryan, is your last name Combs? Should I call you History Diddy instead of History Daddy? Good lord. Come on, brother. Alright, I'm hungry. Hang on. We're snacking up with the epitome of health. Are we ready? Oh yeah. Now we're talking. God, it's like crack. Has that bell been ringing the whole time? Good lord. Look at that. Look at that sun. Occasionally glinting off of the locomotives. Love that. So I'm hoping these fill up really fast. That way we can take these down and then go directly to the bridge site to get those cars and bring it back to the interchange, and then we'll call it a day. Because I'm getting hungry and I'm going to make food before the show tonight. But we're going to find out. And I'm going to have more whipped cream. Because I am the least healthy man this side of the Mississippi. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 my hands were in the wrong place. Oh, come on. Again. did it again. Horrible. Absolutely horrible. Nice. Link those up. We'll see how long it takes for those logs to pile on. It may honestly make more sense to go get the whatchamacallit, get the stuff from the bridge. I think that's probably gonna make a lot more sense actually. Oh, Smith, you got. There's no way $1 stores are called Pound Town. I really hope that's not the case, even remotely. Ooh. Alright friends, we've been running for 2 hours. This has been a good run. I'm gonna bring this guy down here, but then I'm gonna go eat food because I am getting cold, which means my body needs food. But thank you all for coming by. Maybe I'll do some later today. I'll probably definitely do some later in the week. More likely I will do some later in the week, maybe tomorrow. But yeah. Appreciate everybody for stopping by, and I will let this run a little bit, and then after that I'm going to close out and see y'all later, because in 2 hours we will be live on the Lore Lodge, so should be fun, should be a good time. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. Sorry, I'm out of it. I'm losing it because I am sleepy. But I'll catch you all at 7, and then hopefully back on the Valley Forge Railroad on Monday. But until then, I will see y'all later.